Best Narrative, and the nominees are The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Nier Replicant version 1.22, Resident Evil Village, Life is Strange: True Colors, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. And the winner is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles from Capcom. Ace Attorney is the reason that visual novels exist as a genre today, and it continues to push the quality bar ever higher with its newest entry, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. The game takes us to Japan in 1897, where Phoenix Wright's ancestor, Ryunosuke, is assisted by local himbo Herlock Sholmes, you heard me right, to solve murder mysteries that impact the fragile international relations between Japan and Great Britain at the turn of the 20th century. Racism plays a big part in these relationships between these British and Japanese characters, and it's handled with deft expertise. Not only is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles funny, endearing, thrilling, and evocative, but it has something important to say. It might just be the best game in this long-running series so far. Next up, the Don't Call It a Comeback Award for the best remake, remaster, or similar. And the nominees are Nier Replicant version 1.22, Death Stranding Director's Cut, Stardew Valley 1.5, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And the winner is Death Stranding Director's Cut from Kojima Productions. Death Stranding was one of the best and most innovative games of 2019, and experiencing it in the wake of the pandemic has made its messaging about connections all the more important. The Director's Cut version adds some new challenges, plenty of ways to traverse including the Buddybot and a catapult, and crossover quests and items from Half-Life, Portal, and Cyberpunk 2077, just to name a few. The new traversal options and items are balanced so as not to disrupt the intent of the pacing, and it opens up new avenues for you to help the people of post-apocalyptic America and your fellow players all at once. Not to mention a new lighting engine, new textures, and new particle effects as well as 60 FPS. This game is way too beautiful to be experienced any other way. Biggest disappointment. And the nominees are GTA The Trilogy Definitive Edition, 12 Minutes, Biomutant, Cyberpunk 2077, and Nintendo 64 Online. And the winner is Cyberpunk 2077 from CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077 was ambitious beyond its capabilities, and that shows. In addition to the PS4 and Xbox One versions running so badly that the PlayStation Store removed Cyberpunk for 6 months, the content of the game wasn't at all what was advertised. Even on PC where the game worked, some players were disappointed, like us. The RPG mechanics and classes have almost no bearing on how you play, and things we've come to expect from similar games like organic quest discovery, distinct builds, and NPC schedules are totally missing. The main story is thematically cohesive and brilliantly written, perhaps the best writing I've seen in a game like this, but it is contradicted at every turn by the mechanics and systems of the open world. Cyberpunk 2077 claims to be satire, but it never makes it clear what it's actually trying to satirize. What we're left with is that crime is okay when V does it, but it's bad when other people do it. Don't think about it too much. Not to mention that the game's been out for over a year now and still doesn't work on last-gen consoles. Best New IP. And the nominees are Death's Door, Deathloop, Sable, It Takes Two, and Kena, Bridge of Spirits. And the winner is Deathloop from Arcane Studios. The world of Black Reef is a phenomenal piece of set design, following up on Arcane creating some of the best video game levels of all time in Dishonored 2. The world, its characters, and its peculiarities are not only distinct and memorable, but they all fit together in a singular theme. The premise of looping back through time over and over is important not just to the narrative, but to how the world itself is constructed. I also have to shout out the art design on Deathloop. The style is similar to the Art Deco from Prey, with a little bit of steampunk from Dishonored, and runs all the way through this swinging 60s filter, topped with a dose of Andy Warhol. It's perfect, and the vibes are exactly what they need to be. All of it comes together to present a wonderful and endlessly intriguing new world. Best Loop Game, presented by Fruit Loops. Yeah, we had enough for a category. The nominees are Loop Hero, Returnal, Deathloop, The Forgotten City, and Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye. And the winner is Deathloop from Arcane Studios. Not much to add here, just excited that we had enough loop games this year to do this category without including 12 minutes. The Tearjerker Award. And the nominees are Life is Strange True Colors, It Takes Two, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Nier Replicant version 1.22, and The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And the winner is The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles from Capcom. The phenomenal and heartwarming story of The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is rooted in its characters. You'll fall in love with every single one, and even learn to love to hate the bad guys. Major twists and turns later in the story come by surprise, and the emotional resonance of the narrative outdoes anything Capcom has done with Ace Attorney in the past. If you want to feel some feels, here's your ticket in. Indie Game of the Year. And the nominees are Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Death's Door, Little Nightmares 2, Valheim, and Loop Hero. And the winner is Little Nightmares 2 from Tarsier Studios. Everything you loved about Little Nightmares has been cranked up to 11. The music and sound design are fantastic, and the art direction's thematic consistency and ability to evoke terror from its design is unmatched. The mannequin section of this game is the scariest part of any video game I have ever played, full stop. The tightly crafted level design had me escaping each encounter with less than a second to spare, and I applaud the developers for their attention to detail in directing the camera and the movement of the player character. Do not skip on Little Nightmares 2, and make sure that you play the first game beforehand or the story is not going to make much sense. Best Villain. And the nominees are Anton Castillo from Far Cry 6, Juliana from Deathloop, Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil, Iron Man from Persona 5 Strikers, and Activision Blizzard. And the winner is... Come on, who else could it be? The Jolly Vibes Award. And the nominees are Mario Party Superstars, Guardians of the Galaxy, It Takes Two, New Pokemon Snap, and Danganronpa Ultimate Summer Camp. And the winner is New Pokemon Snap from Bandai Namco. After 20 long years, Pokemon Snap is finally back. Fans were waiting for a follow-up to this N64 classic for most of our lives, and we received a great, whimsical adventure worth the wait. New Pokemon Snap is not perfect, but it has the heart that we so desperately want to see in the mainline games again. The folks at Bandai Namco obviously care about Pokemon just as much as we do, and that's evident in what they put together here. There are few things more relaxing, joyful, and jolly than cruising along the ocean in the Neo one and getting that perfect picture of two Squirtles chest bumping, or crouching behind the tall grass to get that snap you need of Arbok chasing down its prey. This game allows us to live with Pokemon in nature, probably in a more thematically cohesive way than the main series games. Excellence in Diversity. And the nominees are Kena, Bridge of Spirits, Deathloop, Boyfriend Dungeon, Nier Replicant version 1.22, and Life is Strange True Colors. And the winner is Life is Strange from Deck 9 Studios. Not only did Life is Strange provide one of the best narratives of the year, it did so while giving a voice to both racial and sexual minorities. Our protagonist, Alex Chen, is a bisexual American-born Chinese woman who's just trying to find a place where she belongs after surviving some truly horrifying trauma. Alex's journey and history shine a light on the fact that her struggles are not exclusively about being a minority. In fact, they stem from death, abandonment, neglect, and rage, as life's problems do for so many of us. Alex is just like us in that she has suffered like everyone else, but her face gives presence to Asian Americans all the same. Her best friend Steph is a lesbian, Charlotte is the only black woman in town, but this isn't who these people are as a character. The things that make us minorities are just a tiny facet of our personalities, and Life is Strange understands that. Best Score and Soundtrack. And the nominees are Persona 5 Strikers, Nier Replicant version 1.22, Deltarune Chapter 2, Deathloop, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. And the winner is Persona 5 Strikers from Koei Tecmo and Atlus. Shoji Meguro, composer of the Persona games, returns triumphantly to the stage to oversee the new composers with Persona 5 Strikers. In addition to amazing rock remixes of the songs we know and love from Persona 5, Strikers pulls out amazingly catchy hits like Loving Wonderland, Counter-Strike, Axe to Grind, You Are Stronger, and a dozen others that you'll keep humming for years to come. Each dungeon in Strikers is inspired by some other property, and the music reflects that too, evoking the soundtracks of Castlevania and Resident Evil in the corresponding dungeons. Persona has always boasted some of the best music in gaming, and the trend continues here. The perfect blend of chill rock and acid jazz to accompany your road trip to save the world, it just gives you major Persona vibes. Our most important award, Excellence in Dog. And the nominees are The Dogs You Can Pet Now from Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, Professor Mirror Stoutland from New Pokemon Snap, The Annoying Dog from Deltarune Chapter 2, Chorizo from Far Cry 6, and Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy. And the winner is Cosmo from Guardians of the Galaxy. He is indeed the best boy. Best with Buddies. And the nominees are Jackbox Party Pack 8, Valheim, It Takes Two, Halo Infinite Multiplayer, and Back 4 Blood. And the winner is It Takes Two from Hazelight Studios. I'm comfortable saying now that It Takes Two is the most innovative co-op game I've ever played. This game is made to be played with a close friend or significant other, and that makes it all the more powerful when you and your partner truly synergize. The game does a phenomenal job of teaching you to work together and use your individual skills for the common good to progress, and it's focused on fun 100% of the time. I've never seen a game push the theme of collaboration so well and so thoroughly. Every action must be supported by your partner's actions and vice versa. Hazelight's masterpiece is the new pinnacle of thematic consistency, and that theme is simply this: It Takes Two. Best Living Game. And the nominees are Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, Apex Legends, and No Man's Sky. And the winner is Final Fantasy XIV. I probably don't need to tell you that Final Fantasy XIV has reached phenomenal new heights this year. With the mass exodus of players entering from World of Warcraft, there's more weight than ever on Final Fantasy to be the big MMO. With several wildly successful expansions in a row, culminating in this year's Endwalker, Final Fantasy XIV has set a new bar on what it means to be a living game, especially considering the launch version was universally reviled. The way fans eat, sleep, and breathe Final Fantasy now, you'd almost believe it's the mid-2000s again. We're excited to see how the next expansion, which will begin an entirely new story, will set the stage for the next 10 years. And now we have a few special awards before we get to Game of the Year, so stick with us. First, most anticipated. Starting in reverse order, we have Pokemon Legends Arceus, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, and of course, at number 1, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. The Forgotten Stepchild Award for the game that got the most votes in our preliminary voting process without getting a nomination. This award goes to Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine. And then the It's Not You, It's Me award for our favorite game that did not win anything this year goes to Returnal from Housemarque. Our Blast from the Past award is a game that each of the people on our staff played for the first time this year, and it was kind of secretly our personal game of the year, even though it didn't come out in 2021. And finally, the nominees for the Gameluster 2021 Game of the Year. Nier Replicant version 1.22, Deathloop, Metroid Dread, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Little Nightmares 2. And the winner is Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139. Nier Replicant is probably not going to win a lot of other Game of the Year awards, and that's okay. It's tedious at times, it doesn't respect the player's time occasionally, and it moves the plot along very slowly. This is a story about finding what it means to be human, and it's a slow, slow burn. Our inexplicable ability to let down the walls around our hearts with the knowledge that we'll be hurt someday, this is what it means to love, and that's what it means to be human. The magic of it is in finding that you've fallen in love with these characters, watching them fight for what they love, and having your own heart ripped apart and stitched back together alongside them. In Replicant, you must grind for weapons until you collect all 33 to unlock the true ending of the story that connects it to Nier Automata. But the grind isn't so that you become stronger and can fight stronger enemies. The payoff for the work that you put in is a narrative one. It's a fascinating concept in which the director Yoko Taro tells players that they need to work to earn the story. It doesn't just happen as it does in other games. The build-up is immense, and the payoff is immaculate, and well worth it. The combat is fun and variable, and there are just enough different enemy types, with just enough different kinds of weapons and spells, that you can hone your own personal fighting style. Not to mention the music is some of the best of all time, as I'm sure you've heard, and that there are more layers to this story than an onion, or an ogre. Fantastic performances from the whole cast, including Laura Bailey as Kaine, bring to life possibly the best party in JRPG history. Replicant does have a few more flaws than Automata, but strangely we enjoyed it more. In fact, the game is so emotionally devastating and powerful that it will continue to haunt you for months after finishing. Every time you pick up a controller, you'll think of Kaine, Emile, Vice, and other games may not seem to make sense anymore. Nier Replicant works to hurt you, and then fill your heart with hope again, and that is an emotional journey that you must earn. Thank you for joining us for the 2021 Gameluster Game of the Year Awards, aka the Lusties. Only place you can find them. How did you like our awards? If you agree with anything on this list or disagree, hit us up in the comments there, tell us what you thought. Smash that like button, smash the subscribe button also. Both of those buttons are good for us. If you are interested in what we do here, please check out Gameluster.com, where we post all our articles. Our podcast, Gamebusters podcast, is on all the podcasting services. And stick around, of course, on our YouTube channel for more like this. Thank you so much for joining us, and here's to an even better 2022 for gaming. I know everything else is going to be worse.